in a moment, we'll have a look at Hallmaster. If you're interested in what you see today, we do individual venue demonstrations that you can book directly through our website. And Lisa will also have my contact details in case you want to pop us an email with any additional questions you have. So I will share my screen and we'll have a look through the software and then we'll have time at the end for questions. So I'll share my screen now. And once that's loaded up, you should be able to see Tutorial Hall dashboard on your screens. There we go. Has that come through okay?
Yeah, it looks absolutely fine. Yeah.
Brilliant. In terms of support, we're at the end of the phone, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You've got a contact us questions button that you can use to send us a message at any time. And there's no limit on the amount of Zoom support we provide your administrators. And there's never a charge for that. On your main dashboard, you've got access to user guides and how-to videos. We also include a customer video, how to book with Hallmaster, that you can share on your website for your customers to view how to book. So the first thing we'll have a look at together will be the scheduler. And I'll click View Scheduler, and then we'll switch to the customer view. So we provide various links for your scheduler. If you have your own website, we provide an iframe, which can sit as an open calendar on your website. We also provide a URL that can be used in emails, newsletters, and social media, and also a QR code that can be used in posters or advertisements for your venue. This allows your customers to see what's happening at your venue and also see what availability there is. For any future date, the customer can click on the plus sign and complete the booking form that we'll have a look at together shortly. That will create a booking request in your venue and you'll receive an email to let you know there's a new booking. When a customer requests a booking at your venue, it sits on your scheduler as a provisional booking. So you don't need to worry about information appearing on your scheduler you've not approved. Once you've confirmed a booking, the default will always be a private booking. But the customer can request for their bookings to be public with their contact details hidden or completely public. So if a member of the public was to click on my Little Leaf Houseplant tab, they can see the contact details for the person running this group and information on how they can join. This is really useful if you've got public events at your venue you wish to advertise, or you've got customers running classes and they want to attract more people to their classes. But the default will always be private booking. You can add notes to your scheduler that are visible to the public. This can be really useful for indicating a bank holiday, for example, or if your venue's closed for Christmas. You can also add a buffer. This is useful if you'd like to create a natural gap between your bookings for one customer to leave the room before the next customer arrives. So this is the customer view of the scheduler. We'll switch back to administration view. When you open up the scheduler, you'll be able to see all of your booking names. You've got two icons in here. So if a booking has got a calendar icon, that indicates a booking you've not confirmed. And if there's a bank icon, it indicates a booking that's not been invoiced. So they're there to give you a visual prompt of the status of that booking at your venue. You can also add notes to your scheduler that are only visible to your venue administrators. This can be really useful for indicating if someone's coming in to do some maintenance, for example, or even if you need to leave yourself a to-do note on your scheduler. Each of your hireable spaces is available from a drop-down menu at the top of the screen. So if the customer knows it's a specific area they want to hire out, they can filter out that individual space. So I'll close the scheduler now and we'll go to bookings. So this is your main bookings database where all of your booking information will sit. In here, every column will sort alphabetically if you click on the column header. And you can also use the magnifying glass to filter. So that's useful if you just want to see one customer's bookings, for example. In this page, you've got a print grid button here. The print grid button will give you an A4 list of any bookings you've currently filtered on your screen. This can be really useful if you've got a caretaker. You need to give a physical list of the bookings that are coming up at your venue this weekend. This will include any special requirements the customers have asked for, any admin notes you've added to the booking, and any equipment the customers have requested. That's a really useful snapshot of what might need setting up for a booking. This can be printed out as a hard copy or downloaded as a PDF and email. So we'll go back to bookings now. Once a customer books, you will receive an email to let you know there's a new booking in the system. And you can use your booking status drop-down menu to filter out those requested bookings. On the right-hand side, you've got 4 action buttons. You've got View, Edit, Delete, or Invoice. So we're going to click on the Edit pencil to open up the booking form and see what the customer's requested. All over Hallmaster, you've got these little blue question marks. They're tooltips, and they just give you more information on each field's requirements. We can see this customer is asked to use the small hall for the House Plant Club, and we can see the day and time of the first booking. Hallmaster won't allow a booking clash, so we don't need to worry about that day or time being occupied. So this is what we call a recurring booking, which is really useful for your regulars. And in here, you've got the option of daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Because this booking is the first Wednesday of the month, it's giving that as an option, but that would change according to the booking date. This customer's asked for a weekly booking, and they've asked for 9 extra weeks that we can see listed below. If your customer is a term time only customer, when they're booking or when you're booking on their behalf, it's really easy to remove unrequired dates from the booking series. So you might get a booking request for the next 6 months, but with the customer's holiday dates removed. If we scroll down past our recurring dates, here we can see our customer's name. We can click View Customer to see all of their contact details and any admin notes that may have previously been allocated to this customer. Booking type. So you'll populate this list for your venue, and your customers will choose from this list when they book. Price rate. This box is only visible to venue administrators, so you can easily apply the relevant rate to the booking. Line items. This list will be populated by your venue, and it's extra items your customers can add to their booking, such as a PA system, projector hire, tables, chairs. Line items can have a charge allocated to them, and they can also be zero charge if you just want to know the customer needs access to the PA system for their booking. So we can see this customer's added the projector. The description field is a free space for the customer to provide you more information about their booking. The privacy menu that decides how this booking will look on the public view of your scheduler. As I mentioned earlier, this will always default to private, but this customer's requested that their booking be public. Number of people that are attending and special requirements, prompting your customer to ensure they've told you everything they need for their booking. Next, you've got an admin notes box. This box is only visible to venue administrators, so you can leave yourself notes about the booking in here. You can add as many of your own questions to the Hallmaster booking form as you would like. So if there's any questions on your existing booking form we haven't covered, you can add those questions in. You'll link your venue's terms and conditions into your Hallmaster account, and your customers will view and agree to them at point of booking. And you can have multiple documents. So if you've got one for your terms and conditions and one for your fire policy, for example, that's no problem at all. So this is a requested booking at our venue. If you're happy and you wish to accept the booking, you can change it to confirmed. And if it's not an appropriate booking for your venue, you can change the status to cancelled. In Hallmaster, there's templates for all of the emails that go out, but you've also got an ad hoc text box in case there's extra information you want to go out in this email. It's only relevant to the booking we're working on. So I might need to say to this customer, please use the side car park, for example. If I click preview, you'll just see an example of the booking confirmed email that goes out from my venue. But you can update and reword these templates so they're worded exactly as you would like. You'll then click Save and Send Booking Email. It will email the customer, let them know their booking's confirmed or cancelled according to what you've chosen. And then it'll also send a copy of that in email to you, so you've got a copy for your record. If you normally invoice before confirming a booking for an ad hoc, for example, that's no problem at all. There's no restrictions in Hallmaster in the order you do things. So I will save this booking. So we've reviewed a booking that a customer's requested. You can absolutely create a booking, manage it on behalf of your customer, and also create a booking and allocate it to yourself as an administrator. So that's really useful if you've got internal events at your venue, such as a meeting, but it's also really useful if someone's coming to do maintenance in a room one afternoon. You also have the option to use Hallmaster internally. So you can have your scheduler on your website so your customers can see availability, but switch off public booking if you don't wish your customers to book directly. It's completely up to you. So there's two ways of invoicing in Hallmaster. You can invoice one customer, or you can bulk generate your invoices for the month, for example. And I'll show you how both ways of invoicing works. So if you want to invoice an individual customer, you'll click on the bank icon on the right-hand side of the booking you wish to invoice. Or Hallmaster's notifying me, you've just updated a booking. Click here to create a new invoice. You'll choose the invoice prefix for your venue, and the number will just automatically roll on 1 every time. You've got an additional information box, which is really useful if the customer has a purchase order number, for example. You can update payment term, and this can be days from issue or a fixed date in the future. So we're here, we can see all the details of our customer and all our houseplant club bookings we've just confirmed. You'll choose which bookings you would like to add to your invoice today. So if I just want to invoice this customer for January, I'll just add January's bookings. If I also want to invoice for February, I can add those too. You can override charges on your invoice, so you're in complete control of what your invoices go out for. Any line items that were added to the booking automatically transfer through to the invoice, but as an administrator, you've got access to them at this point as well. If they have used some equipment, you can add a charge in. Line items are also really useful for flexibility in your invoicing. So for example, at my venue, I've got a line item for a credit note discount and an additional charge. If you charge deposits at your venue, these will also be set up as line items. Line items can be added to the invoice for the booking, and you can also send invoices just for line items. So if you want to send an invoice just for a deposit amount and then an invoice for the booking at a later date, that's no problem at all. It's just making sure you've got the line items set up at your venue for what you need. The comments box will print out on the invoice PDF, and you've got an admin notes box in case you'd like to leave yourself any information for future reference regarding this invoice. Ad hoc text. Again, this is if you've got any extra information you want to go out in the email to the customer that's only relevant to this invoice. You'll then click Save an Email Invoice. It will send a PDF copy of this invoice to your customer and also send a copy of that invoice to you. So I'll save this invoice and I'll show you what the invoices look like that go out of Hallmaster. So this will have your venue name at the top, and you can add a logo to the top left of your invoices as well. Every booking is listed individually so the customer can clearly see how their invoice is made up. And up at the bottom of the invoice, you've got please make payment to, providing your bank account details. We also provide an integration with Stripe, PayPal, and Square if you'd like to give your customers the option to pay their invoices online. So we'll go to the invoicing database now, which you can access by clicking invoicing here. Exactly the same as bookings, everything sorts alphabetically, and you can use the magnifying glass to search. This works like a traffic light system. Green is a fully paid invoice, amber is a part paid invoice, and red is unpaid. So you've got immediate visual of which of your customers have got outstanding invoices at your venue. If you decide to use an online payment option, such as Stripe, PayPal, or Square, when your customers pay, it can automatically mark the invoice as paid in Hallmaster for you. So you don't need to do the bank reconciliation. And if your customers are paying you by other means, you can click on the blue shopping cart icon alongside the invoice that's been paid. Choose a payment type from the drop-down menu. So here you can select if your customers paid you by bank transfer. Was it a card payment, a cash payment, check, for example? And so how much that customer has paid you, when they paid you, any comment you need to record against the payment, and click add. From here, you can email a receipt to that customer so they know that you've successfully processed their payment. And if we go back to invoicing, invoice number 420 for our houseplant club is now green, marked fully paid. So that's how you'd raise and send an invoice to an individual customer. We also provide the bulk generate feature, which is really useful for invoicing your regular customers. In invoicing, you'll click on bulk generate. You can choose your own date range if you invoice termly, for example, or months. So if I want to invoice everybody that's using my venue in November, I can click November and then click to load customers to invoice. Hallmaster will then give me a list of every customer with an uninvoiced booking in my chosen date range. If you want to see what the customer's bookings are, you can click on the black triangle. So here we can see George has got 4 private tuition bookings in November. You can then select all if you'd like to invoice all of these customers, or just tick the ones that you'd like to invoice. And you've got 2 options available. You can generate these invoices. So that will create these invoices for you, but it won't send them out. So you can review them before you send them. Or you can generate and send your invoices directly from this screen. So it's a really efficient way of getting your invoices raised and sent to your customers. There is a billing section in Hallmaster, so you can send statements to customers, reminders to customers, and copies of receipts should your customers request them. Next, we've got your customers database. So there's 2 ways customers can access your venue. New customers will come in through your scheduler, they'll register, and then they'll book. So Peter here is highlighted green because he's a new self-registered customer at my venue. You can also create accounts on behalf of your customers, send them a link so they can set up a password and log in. Once they're set up, they'll be able to view their bookings. So that's useful for them and you because they don't need to contact you to check they booked that date in February. They can just log in and have a look. They can view their invoices and download copies of these. Again, that's useful because they won't then lose invoices in emails. And they can request a booking for a future date. You've got 2 options in terms of advanced access for your customers. So if you've got regular customers that are booking your venue and you don't need to review their booking, you can set it up so that specific customers' bookings auto-confirm. And you can also give your customers permission to request changes to their bookings. So that means Peter could log in and ask to change the time of badminton on the 2nd of February. The administrator will then get an email and an on-screen notification so they can accept or reject the changes the customers requested. This is really useful for keeping all of your communication internal to Hallmaster, so you're not dealing with external messages or emails asking to change class times. So I'll just edit Craig so you can have a look at a customer's record. Every customer will have first name, surname, and email address that's the unique identifier in Hallmaster, postal address, and invoicing email. This is really useful for groups like U3A or Scouts, where they want you to invoice the treasurer and not the person that's managing the bookings. Next, you've got reports. There's lots of reports in Hallmaster, everything from a list of all of your bookings to the projected income from your bookings. There's reports for invoicing. So a really popular report is the income per booking type. For every report in Hallmaster, you can edit, choose a preset or a specific date range you want the data for, and hit run. All of the report data will appear down the bottom of the screen, and that can then be exported out to Excel. Between listable bookings and listable invoices, you can export all of your data out of Hallmaster, and you can also create your own reports using the available fields and save them for future use. So it's really worth looking through this module and seeing which reports might be useful for your venue. So that brings us down to the admin tab. The admin tab is the engine room for your venue, where your individual venue settings will sit. We provide a 90-day free trial of Hallmaster. The setup wizard will guide you through the setup process, and we're here to help as well. So I'm just going to go through the key areas with you today. So one of those will be your charges matrix. This is where you'll create the higher charges that apply to your venue. You can create hourly rates that change according to the time of day. Fixed charges stay the same regardless of the booking duration. If any of your customers have got a pre-agreed rate with you, you can just set them up in here, apply that to that specific customer, so they're always invoiced the correct amount. Anytime your charges are going up, you can just add a new price rate period. So any booking that falls after that date will automatically be invoiced the correct charge. This is completely flexible, and you can create as many charges as you need, and you will name them as you would like. And again, we can assist you with setting this up. Venue administrators. You can have as many administrators on your venue as you would like, and you can decide what each administrator's got access to. So you might have a caretaker, you want to give read-only access to the booking data, for example. Or you might have someone that's helping you manage bookings. You want to give read-only access to invoicing so they can see if people have paid. So it's completely flexible with how much access each of your administrators has at your venue. Email configuration. This is where all the templates sit for the emails that go out of Hallmaster. On the left-hand side, it will explain when this email is sent and the available macros. All of these emails are pre-populated, but you can come in and personalize them and update them for your venue so they're worded exactly as you would like. There's also a pre-event message that goes out 8 a.m. the day before a customer's booking. You can switch this off for your regular customers, but for your ad hoc bookings, it can be really useful just to remind them about access, emergency contact details, expectations, for example. And there's also a post-event message that goes out the day after a customer's booking that can be really useful for asking for feedback. There is an audit log in Hallmaster, so it will keep a record of which customers have been which administrators have been updating which areas. This is really useful if you ever want to go back and look at the history of a booking. Who requested this booking? Who confirmed it? When was it invoiced, for example? And finally, we've got the website integration. So if you've got your own website, we provide iframe. So that can be copied to your computer clipboard, pasted directly onto your website as an open calendar, or emailed to your website provider. You've got a URL link. This can be used in emails, newsletters, and social media, and also a QR code that can be used in posters or advertisements for your venue. All of these links go to the customer view of your scheduler. If you don't have your own website, we do provide a free basic web page. I'll just click preview. This allows you to provide more photos of your rooms and information about those hireable spaces. If you don't have your own website and you want to provide more information than just the scheduler, you can use this. And in exactly the same way, we provide a URL link and a QR code. So I'll jump back to bookings now. So I'm just going to load up my tutorial hall too. So we have two integrations with external companies. One of those is Heating Save or Inspire. So they provide thermostats for venues. So you can set the temperature of your bookings in Hallmaster. So when reviewing or creating a booking, you can set the temperature that you require for that booking, and that will then send that to your scheduler for your thermostats to activate the heating. We also have an integration with a company called Remote Lock. So they provide keypads for venues. So when you're creating a booking, you can generate an access PIN for that customer that's only valid for the duration of their booking. Your regular customers can be set up with access schedules in Remote Lock, so they use the same code each time they come to your venue. So we'll jump back to bookings now. We'll go through the cost of Hallmaster and then any questions you have at all. So for an individual venue, for booking and invoicing, is £220 plus VAT for a 12-month license. And you get a £10 annual discount for being a member of ACA. Our additional modules are £24 plus VAT per year. So our additional modules would be the online payment integration with Stripe, PayPal or Square, our accounts integration with QuickBooks, Sage, Xero, for example, and more. So do check with us. And then the two integrations with the heating company and with Remote Lock. So if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to ask.
I've got a couple of questions for you, Gemma, if I may.
Yeah, of course. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you have any advice on how you would transfer, say, some bookings that you normally have into this tool easily, or is it just a case of a manual type in the information as such? So currently we're using a shared calendar, which is
Okay.
problematic.
Mhm.
So is there any simple solutions you can think of to get that, like our 2026 and onwards bookings into this
Mhm.
tool?
Yeah, so we can provide you with two spreadsheets, one for your customer data and one for your booking data. If you can then export out of your software and populate our spreadsheets, we'll import that data for you.
Okay, great. You mentioned also about you could add a buffer. Is that possible to
Yeah,
automatically add a buffer after every booking?
absolutely. So in your venue settings, you can choose the duration of your buffer and decide if you want it at the start and end, and that will apply to all bookings.
Great.
Gemma, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah,
There's a question around the heating app. Could you go through
yes,
which heating apps work with Hallmaster,
of
please?
course. Yeah. So if you want us, if you pop me an email, I can send you the link. But basically, and it's on our website. But it's Heating Save and Inspire. Both of their company details are on our website, or if you pop me an email, I can send you those links. But it's Heating Save and Inspire.
Thanks, Gemma. And for everybody on the call today, I'll send your contact details round to them so that they
Brilliant.
can easily get in touch with you as well.
Thank you.
Gemma, can you give me the prices again, please?
Of course. So a single venue, so no limit on the number of rooms in that venue, so a single location effectively, £220 plus VAT for a 12-month license for booking and invoicing. I forgot to give you the booking only earlier, actually. So if you went for booking only without the invoicing, it's £154 plus VAT for the 12 months license.
And the add-ons, how much were they?
So each add-on is £24 plus VAT per year.
Lovely, thank you.
So a QuickBooks integration would be £24 a month, sorry.
No, £24 a year for
A
the
year.
QuickBooks
Oh, right.
integration. Okay. Yeah. And actually, we do a direct integration with QuickBooks. So any invoice that's created and sent from Hallmaster is automatically sent to QuickBooks. And when your invoices are marked as paid in Hallmaster, it marks it as paid in QuickBooks for you as well.
So what takes precedence then? So then invoice is still created within Hallmaster, but that data is then sent to QuickBooks also as a record.
Yeah. So then that invoice then exists in QuickBooks.
So if we don't use a credit card type payment and they're doing bank transfer, when we go to reconcile locally and we mark it normally as paid in QuickBooks, would that feed back to Hallmaster or do we have to enter it in Hallmaster?
Yeah, so QuickBooks doesn't speak back to Hallmaster, so Hallmaster can speak to QuickBooks. So if you had your bank feed directly coming into QuickBooks, you can switch off the payment notifications going across from Hallmaster to QuickBooks if you don't want it to do that, but you would need to mark it as paid in QuickBooks also.
Okay.
Hallmaster, sorry, also.
Okay.
Gemma, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
If we decide to go ahead, would it be a one-to-one setup?
Yes. Yeah. So you can book, so you start your 90-day free trial. The setup wizard guides you through the setup process. And then any training you book over Zoom with us is on a one-to-one venue basis. So we can help you with any setup queries you've got, because every venue is so unique. It's really hard to or even if you want another demonstration that's more tailored to what your specific requirements are, that's no problem at all. You can book that with us.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
Gemma, our pricing structure is a little bit complicated, like many, in as much as there's different rates for local people, for people outside the area, for commercial, non-commercial, charity. Would it cope with all those?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you say, lots of venues are very similar in that they've got a lot of different rates according to the customer type, and that's no problem at all. So you would basically set your hire charge names in here for your local, non-local charity rate. There's no limit on the amount of charges you create. That's no problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Gemma, another question in the chat. How does Hallmaster manage VAT and also commissions for payments?
Yeah, so yes, if your venue is VAT registered, in your invoicing settings, you'll just set that up at point of registering, and then that can then just be applied to your customers and your line items, so it transfers through to the invoices. That's no problem at all. Sorry, could you just elaborate a little bit on what was it, commission question?
Kevin, are you okay to step in there because it was your question? I think you're muted at the moment.
Hi. Yeah, I was just thinking, because obviously if you use things like Stripe or whatever, they often take a commission of 1.5%, 2% or whatever it happens to be on the payment. How do you manage that in Hallmaster?
Yeah, so we don't take any commission at all. We just charge that £24 per year. Basically, you would have your account set up with Stripe, PayPal, or Square. So you would deal with that with the chosen provider you've selected.
Right. So it's the gross amount effectively that gets managed.
Yes.
Okay, great.
We've got another question. How many different users stroke administrators can the system can be used on the system?
Yeah, So there's no limit on the number of administrators you create in your venue at all. And each administrator can be given access to the areas that they need access to. There might be people on your committee, you just want to be able to log in and view the data without changing it. That's no problem at all. And there's no restriction.
Lovely. We've got another one here. So this is around external areas. So could you classify a room, for example, as a 3G pitch? How would you use external spaces in it?
Absolutely. So I will say, if you do have a 3G pitch, we do also provide a book and pay option where people can go online, request a booking, and immediately be issued an invoice for that space, which people are using for 3G pitches. So yes, when you set your venue up, you can create as many hireable spaces as they want. So that might be a main hall, a pavilion, a 3G pitch, a tennis court. That's no problem at all.
Okay, another question. So this is around invoicing. So interested to know about how, when you're sending an invoice by email, how does it show in terms of the email address? And if the customer clicks to reply, where does the email go?
Yeah, so Hallmaster, the emails that are sent directly from Hallmaster are sent from a no reply email address. So if the customer responds to that, they will get a notification that it's a no reply email address. So in the email template that goes out with your invoices, you could definitely add your contact. So if you've got any queries, email us in the email template. But if you've got your own servers, you can set Hallmaster up so the emails go from your server so your customers can directly respond to them. And you can set that up in email configuration, custom SMTP settings. Thanks,
Gemma. Another question here. Diana's interested to know about the photograph, the website image that you showed. Yeah. She said, where was it that you accessed the photos? So if you could perhaps explain that one again, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I will. So with regards to the photo, that's when I was talking about the free basic web page. If you don't have your own website, in admin and website integration, you can add more information about each of your hireable spaces and photos of those spaces. So if I click preview, that just means instead of the customer just seeing your scheduler and booking through the URL or the QR code, you can actually add photos and more information about those hireable spaces before they have access to your calendar and book. Can be really useful for making sure that customers are choosing the correct areas.
So Gemma, on the web page that you would set up, does that also include the calendar within?
Yeah, so when they click view availability, it takes them to the scheduler. It would then take you
to the calendar. Great. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
One more question. Is there integration with Liberty bookkeeping software?
Yes, we do integrate with Liberty accounts for pulling the invoices across.
Lovely, thank you. I think that's exhausted all of the questions in the chat now.
What's a typical installation period, Gemma?
Oh, that's always such a difficult question. So the setup wizard guides you through the setup process. So you can you can set the setup wizard up within half an hour. And we can help you with that as well if you need that help. Then it depends on whether you want to enter your existing customers and bookings manually or whether you want us to import that data. Obviously, you've got the recurring booking feature in Hallmaster. So I always say that depends on the number of individual customers you've got booking your venue, depending on which way you go. The 90-day free trial is access to the live software. So you can do as much as you want during that time. You can add it to your website, get your customers booking. So it really is really down to the individual venue on how quickly they want to move.
And the 90 days, does it then start billing thereafter, or does it just cease?
Yeah, so towards the end of the 90-day free trial, if you wanted to continue with Hallmaster, you raise an invoice for the following 12 months or 2 years if you want to purchase that long. And then basically at the end of that period, you just then would raise an invoice for the following year.
Okay. And sorry, one more question, then I'll shut up and let other people talk.
You're
So
okay.
the price with invoicing for 12 months was 220 plus VAT, you said, yeah?
Correct. Yeah,
And did you then say there was some sort of discount as CAMS Acre members?
that's correct. You get £10 discount from your license annually.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Gemma, just one more question's popped up in the chat. Diana said that her hall already uses Hallmaster. She's
Okay.
just taken over and is struggling a little bit with the technology. Is there a support available for her? Because obviously they're no longer in their 90-day trial period.
So the support we provide is exactly the same, whether you're in a trial or whether you're in license with us. So if you use the contact us questions button, we can book an online Zoom session and I can give you kind of a complete overview and ask any questions you've got at all, any help you need. But in the contact us questions button, there's lots of fantastic FAQs with videos as well. But yeah, do reach out to us. We're here to help.
Lovely, thanks, Gemma. That's great. Were there any other questions from anybody, either through the chat or actually in person? Always nice to hear from you in person. No? Okay. Did you want to take down the presentation, Gemma?
Yes. Sorry. There we go.
No, that's fine. It's really useful to have it there and be able to show it live, so it's helpful to have it there. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for attending today. I hope you found it really useful and interesting. And thank you to Gemma for taking us through the programme in such detail. Actually, it was really useful to see how it operates and the flexibility of Hallmaster. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in that much detail before, so it was really good to see that. Oh, there's a Pete's just popped a question. Software resilience. Uptime.
Yeah, uptime at all, i.e. system outages. I mean, I'm not trying to dismiss how good your product is. I'm just interested to know about how often you have system outages, if any, and what sort of the backup times are to get it back up and running. Because, you know, obviously, if we can't access it for whatever reason, that we're just keen to understand what resolutions there are.
Yeah, of course. And hopefully the Hallmaster users in the room will verify this. So anytime we're doing an update, we make sure that you've got prior notice on your dashboard, and updates are always carried out of office hours so that they don't interrupt, but they are pre-planned and you're always aware of this. I don't know if there's any exact figure, but if you want to pop us an email, I'll get the people that do our analytics to let you know.
Sure. And I know there's obviously times things are outside of your control. I don't know if you use things like Amazon Web Servers or whatever it is to host these things, and they have issues themselves that I know are outside of your control. So that's fine. But it's been really interesting and potentially very timely for our needs.
Brilliant. Good to hear.
Lovely. Thank you.